Hi everyone and welcome to the Deliberation for round 4 of Next Top Singer. We got the blues and country round. So we have got Andrew with us as always, and standing in for Petri, who's taking a well-earned-ish break. We've got Aria, who I'm sure you guys will know from previous seasons, from guest judging spots, from mentoring, and from the watch-alongs, which have been a great addition to this season as well. Aria, am I missing anything?
Just that I am P3 Show's official Disney princess.
That too. Cool. Well, welcome back to the panel. I'm sure it's going to be a fun one with no fighting whatsoever.
Oh, of course not. Absolutely. I mean, now that you are here and actually judging and not sitting out, there's going to be absolutely no fighting. Absolutely. There could be no way with Mark involved that there would be a fight. Absolutely not.
We like each other too much. We're so nice to each other.
Do you really? No, Aria, you weren't here for the last episode. Mark wasn't even here, and he created a fight for the last round.
Wow.
So, and he wasn't even here judging, and he created a fight. So don't get comfy. I'm just warning you ahead of time. Don't get comfy.
If he fought over Isabel, he's right.
Well,
no.
If I was here, I would have done. But judging by the scoring, I didn't even pick that battle because there was just no way.
No, it was. Wow, that was a fun one to read behind the scenes. I'll just say that. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even read.
So just get ready. Just get ready.
See, I wish it was behind the scenes, but it ended up in the Star Speech clip, the full chat. So it's like
yeah. There's a full video for anybody who didn't read, because on my Star Speech, there's actually a link where you can watch the full video of the Star Speech that gives you the whole chat. So that gives you the whole argument.
Oh my gosh.
So go ahead and watch that if you want to see that fight between Petri and Mark. So get ready, Aria. This is going to be a wild ride.
I'm bracing.
I kind of wish that hadn't happened because I was kind of mad, to be completely honest, at that point. But
you're going to be mad today again, I have a feeling. So I can already see, just from the pre-chat, I can already see you're not going to be happy with me today. I can already tell.
That's fine. If I can do something about it and I get outvoted 2-1, that's kind of by the by.
Yeah. We'll have to see.
Got it. Okay, so anyone got a place that they want to start then, if this is going to be a contentious one?
Well, since you go first.
Okay, let me see where I can land, see if we can get a middle of the road one to start.
Okay.
I was not impressed with Carly in the group round, but coming into this one, I'm seeing a completely different take on things. Feels like a big improvement from what we got last time around. My big issue in the group was a real lack of energy at the time when it needed it. This time, I think the energy's in all the right places. There's like a warm, sultry tone on the lows. The highs are great, which is something that she does really well. There's a few trip-ups with timing as well. My main issue with it really was that the song choice was great in that it suited her style really well, but we didn't really get the power out of it, which makes me worry a little bit more for a top 12. But in terms of just general improvement and taking a few of the mistakes on board and learning from it, she's right up there for me.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I was going to say pretty much the same thing. I do think she has a very lovely voice, and I think this was a big improvement from the group round. I think the group round, there was just almost zero energy coming in, and I think she brought us a lot of that energy. And I think there was a few parts too where I think it's kind of hard to explain, but a few times it seems like she was almost trying to like build up to a note that just felt like it needed to be almost like a half of an octave higher, and it just didn't quite get there. And maybe if she would have gotten there, it might have been just a little bit more like, I don't know, there just might have been something a little bit more, but there's just something that was like a little bit off. There were some timing issues as well that I could hear that were just kind of brought it down a little bit too much for me. But there were some points that just seemed really lovely, and then there were other other points where there just seemed to be some control issues with the breathing that led to a little bit of the notes quivering. And so there was some control where the notes kind of went a little flat in some places. But there definitely was an improvement in energy and in emotion when it came to from the last round to this round. So I definitely have to give her props for that.
I've always loved Carly's voice, and I appreciate that she changes her tone to suit the genre, and she has a really strong start. I just feel like she had a weak mid and a weak finish, and it felt like she was going to build up to something but never really quite got there, and she got pitchy on sustained notes, and I really liked the energy, but it also had a lack of emotion to it, is what I thought.
Okay, interesting. And all right, we've got through the first one. No punches thrown.
Okay. All right. Should we let our guest judge pick the next singer?
Sure. Okay, I have something that might get the punches started.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I want to bring attention to Nathan. How we said Carly improved from her group performance. I feel like Nathan fell down a few notches. What made me love him in his group performance was not included inside this performance. It was very the same the whole way through. It felt like he didn't make it his own, and I definitely think that his voice is made for country, and that song was a perfect choice for him, but he didn't bring forth the sass and dynamic that I'm used to hearing from him.
Is that the thing that you really liked from him last time out?
I did.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
There was a lot of passion last time, and the passion kind of left.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I take that on board. That kind of matches with what I had written down, actually. I thought he kind of overcooked it too much last time out in the group round. He just kind of sung over the top of it way more than it really needed, in my opinion. But it's fine. I take the point on energy because I feel like this is missing something. It's tough to judge in a way, as I listen to Luke Combs stuff quite a lot. And on the face of it, it's actually not a bad performance at all, and I won't take that away from him. But it's when you A-B it with the original where you notice the problem. It's like he doesn't really get hold of any of the sweeps, and like you were saying, a lot of the character in it is lost. It's actually like he's kind of skimming the surface of it.
Yes.
A lot, in my opinion. When something's stripped back, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not complex. And you have to be able to add that complexity and that depth with your voice instead. And I think, as you say, this song sets him up perfectly for that. And that was the big thing that was missing for me as well. So I guess we're kind of on the same lines with that.
Oh, Olivia Newton-John died.
Oh,
I just saw that. Oh, that's sad. Okay. Well, okay. Anyway, for me with Nathan, I don't think I'm really that far off with you guys. I actually really love his voice, and I love that like soft trill that he has in his voice, that like just natural kind of trill that he has. And I do feel that there was emotion in his voice and some dynamic in his voice, but what I would have liked to have heard personally is some kind of a transition to maybe a higher octave somewhere in the song that would have given it an extra punch of power. I think that maybe that's what we were lacking, is some kind of a transition that would have kind of given us a little bit of a break, of some kind of a differential that would have kind of taken us into a new moment, that would have just kind of grown into the song a little bit more, a powerful moment. But outside of that, I mean, I liked the song. I like his voice, and I think that he did give us a really great tone, and I think he really gave us emotion, make it a little bit more his own. Otherwise, I thought it was pretty solid for me.
Interesting how you say you wanted him to jump the octave, because I noted that I really wish he dug into some grit. And I wanted to hear
like I said, it's something a lot of times what country singers would do is, because he kind of kept it more towards that kind of lower range already. And if he would have gone down and give it some grit, it might have given us a little something extra as well. But I think if he would have gone up and maybe gave it a little bit of power and maybe just kind of made it just like real emotional, I think that also would have made it something really big, and it might have given us a more of a heart pull moment.
Okay, yes, I agree.
So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's a great shout. I think either one of those things would have probably elevated it quite nicely, added both of them, then we could be looking at a top X, you name it. But it really could have elevated him to the top. Okay, cool.
Okay, so far so good. Okay.
Yeah, this is going well so far.
Andrea, are you going to rock the boat?
Not yet. Let's save the rockin' and rollin' for towards the end here. Well, maybe. Okay, it depends on how you feel about the next one. I'm gonna jump to Nana Bread. You know what? I like Nana Bread's voice, and I think Nana Bread has a very unique voice, and I like that trill in Nana's voice. But there was just so many moments that were just not there that I just can't ignore. I mean, there was just so many moments that were so painfully glaring off key that I'm not sure if Nana even listened before submitting. I don't know if they listened back before they uploaded, because it just wasn't good. It was just so off key. There was just too many moments that were just not tight enough, and it was just so much dissonance and painfulness. But yeah, it wasn't a good entry for me. I don't know if it was just the wrong song choice, or maybe didn't know the song well enough. I don't know, but it didn't work out for me.
All right. Nana Bread has had a special place in my heart for a little bit. I have to agree full-heartedly, because he didn't capitalize off of the song that he was doing. There are so many things that you can do with Speechless. When I first heard him start to sing it, I know the song. I actually didn't recognize the song, which was super unfortunate, because he was the complete opposite of his group performance, where he was one of the people who carried the group performance. And here it sounded pitchy and breathy, and I was waiting for the song to build up to that powerful moment, and he kept it the same midway.
Yeah.
And he lost control of his tremolo, which is one of the unique parts about him, but he lost control of it. I will say, though, his harmonies, very pleasing.
Yeah, I think I'm going to come in with some of similar points again. It bothers me when the title of the song is the standout thing where the problem is. Every one of them was flat. The line coming into it came up sharp. I like the laid-back kind of vibes going into it, leading into the chorus, and it added something a little different to the original. Like you say, you didn't recognise it right off the bat, and I like it when a contestant adds something like that and changes things. But I think the problem is a technical one. It strikes me that they're lacking breath support, which is why they're not able to produce the notes consistently, and then that throws, like you mentioned, big question marks over song choice. If the key notes are consistently not being hit, was it just a song completely out of reachable range? And would another song have allowed them to avoid that completely? Probably. Definitely a step back and just not on pitch, which doesn't fly when you're in the top 10%, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
No boat rocking yet.
Okay, well, now we're back to Mark, though. That's the problem. This is making me nervous now.
It's suspenseful. It's like a horror movie.
I know. I'm waiting for that jump scare.
Let's see if we can get this jump scare in then.
Oh, God.
So, going to go to Sundubu next. So, this, for me, I know their voice has always been, really well appreciated throughout the couple of seasons, and I get that. And that's maybe why I was so disappointed with this. I got the feeling that they were fighting not to go sharp the whole time, which is always going to affect the way that you're going to deliver the cover. It's felt really restricted, almost a little timid, and that pulls me away from the power and the beauty of the message of this song. There's some nice embellishments in there which are interesting and add something to it, but they also feel a little forced in the context of the whole delivery. For me, I would have said pick something that you're way more comfortable with? Because the whole thing just had me a little on edge as far as that went.
Yeah. No, isn't Sundubu more like comfortable in the, not, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's more comfortable in like the K-pop, J-pop genre?
Bang on right, yeah.
Like, yeah. So, I mean, I have to give, props because obviously this is outside of the comfort zone. And for being outside of the comfort zone, I think that Sundubu did a really good job that way. I don't disagree that a lot of times it was, it did feel sometimes a little bit like strained a little bit. But I mean, I like the fact that there is versatility there. I mean, I was wondering if we were going to have like the one trick pony where the only thing that we were ever going to hear is a K-pop style, J-pop style, like every genre was going to be K-pop, J-pop, and that they were never going to break out of that. It was always going to be like trying to fit the genre into their comfort zone. And Sundubu has been doing a really great job just, coming out of that comfort zone. And I really do like that. And I think it worked. I mean, I wasn't necessarily the best performance of the round. I wouldn't say it was the best performance of the round. It certainly wouldn't get a 10 from me. But do I think it was the worst of the round? I don't think it was that either. I think it probably kind of slid right in the middle there. I like his voice. There were some issues with pitch and things like that, but I also think that he did a really good job coming out of his comfort zone and trying to make it a little bit his own, and I think it was decent.
Yeah, I think Dubu's entry is a healthy medium, and I especially love the part with the chorus of voices. He's really good at backing vocals. And I will say that it does start off weak. I wasn't impressed in the beginning, but as he sings it, he gets more confident with it, and it continually gets better, and he ends off really strong, and his runs are super pretty. I think the biggest issue I would have with it is that he's singing really pretty, and the emotion that I saw within his group performance is watered down.
Yeah. All right. Should we move on?
Yeah, works for me.
Okay. Well, all right. Okay. So now we're going to get to maybe this is where the boxing gloves will come off, because I am going to bring up the name that started it all the last round, Maeve DeVoe. We're going to go to Maeve DeVoe. Okay. This is what started it all last round. So get ready, Aria, because I don't know where this is going to go. Maybe this won't be a contentious, maybe not, but we'll see.
I'll be amicable.
Maeve, I do love your voice, and I'm very, you caused quite a stir last round, as you know. You probably know if you listen to the entire Star speech, like if you click that link and you listen to the Star speech and you read the script of the behind the scenes chat, you caused quite a stir, especially with Mark and Petri, not necessarily me, but Mark and Petri. And I used my star on you, and you know what? I don't regret it, because I do believe you have a lovely voice, and I do commend you for saying that you did use production, you did use auto-tune, and that you have used that, but that this time you did not use it. You turned it down as far down as it would go, and that you did use a little bit, but that you didn't use very much at all. I commend you for giving it a try, just taking our advice and not doing it, because she did tell us that when she submitted it, she did not use any. So this round she went very light on the auto-tune, and it was pretty obvious this time that she didn't use it. You could tell. Many places in the beginning especially, there were, again, this is more between you and Petri, so I'll let you two fight it out in the chat if you guys want to. But I think production did help her a lot more maybe than you'd want to admit in previous rounds, because I did hear a lot of where, had she been able to use the auto-tune, it might have given her a leg up over other contestants, where there were definitely issues this time that came forward that we never heard before, that there were more sour notes and more pitch issues, and some of the runs weren't as clean as they have been, where before she sounded almost perfect. And this time we heard a lot more of those sins that we didn't hear in the past. I think if she would naturally try to tighten those without hiding behind production, she wouldn't need the auto-tune and she wouldn't need all of that other production stuff, because she does have such a lovely voice. But I think she has relied so much on the production that she kind of has taken it for granted and isn't, tuning it up herself. So if she tightens it up herself, I think she would not need all that other stuff.
I think I'm in the same boat. I actually don't think she needs all that auto-tune. I can definitely hear the capability within her voice to be able to tighten it up with practice as a mentor personally. As a judge, I felt like the whole song was a little bit throaty. I didn't particularly enjoy that part of it, but I will be honest in that I do like this better than the original because she made it her own. She made it Maeve. And she successfully executed the falsetto at the end. I was really impressed by that, especially since she kept the whole thing deep. And I was very interested with the vocal slide at 139 to 142. Sometimes when people do a vocal slide, they lose control of it, but I don't think she lost control of that one. And you can just hear the emotion in her voice. It's so beautiful and sassy and dynamic, and I think that's what I have to say about it.
Okay, cool. I guess it's not a bad place to mention or pick up that issue from before. I think that for something to sound natural and not sound like you've messed about with it a bunch, you've got to get it pretty close in the wheelhouse anyway. And for example, sometimes you can get to the point where you get close enough to the key that you set up your thing and you just click a button and it automatically does it and you wouldn't even notice. So if you're at that stage, then rather than spending all the time on the production, you can allocate a bit more time to running a few more takes and just ironing those things out. Even just going line by line if you have to and tidy up a few areas. That's maybe not a bad idea and probably a better use of time. I, again, like this one a lot. Really good cover with a challenging artist. It had all the warmth and the depth and a range as well, a really good range with the backing parts. The song choice was maybe a little limiting in that we didn't get the super soft and the big power. Kind of sat energy-wise in a fairly similar spot. And I would like that to have been in there for a big introduction to the top 12 and to try and get the quote-unquote perfect entry. One little production note. I tend to listen on multiple devices just to make sure I don't sort of miss anything. And on a few, it was clipping for me unless I turn the volume down to about 60-70%. So maybe it's getting pushed a little too hard in mastering, but not something to knock a point off for, just something that I noticed.
Yeah, it peaked for me too.
I didn't get any peaking, but it just could be my computer. I don't know.
I mean, I listened on my computer headphones, my computer speakers, my phone headphones, and my phone speakers, and it picked up.
Yeah, I didn't get any. I didn't get any peaking on that. I might not have had my computer turned all the way up though, so that might have been why. Yeah, that was the only thing I didn't get. I didn't get peaking. But then again, I always leave it at a comfortable thing, regardless of. I just listened. I turned it up to where I can hear it comfortably, so that I can hear all the nuances without like bursting my eardrums. But I don't know. I guess it wasn't what I was hoping it would be. I was hoping that, it was going to be something a little bit, I don't know.
Well, I know I wanted to hear her raw, and I definitely got that desire satisfied.
Yeah, like I said, I think she has a beautiful voice. I just think that she could have taken some time to clean a few things up, knowing that she was going to do it raw. And I think if she would have done that, but I think she's relied so much on autotune for so long that she just didn't take the time. And I don't know, that's me personally, but I guess we'll have to see what the votes come out at the end. So.
That's true. I mean, wasn't she one of the first turn-ins?
Oh yeah,
she was the
thing
first.
Was recorded before the group round.
Let us continue on to Daniel.
Okay. Where's Daniel? I don't know where he is on my list. Oh, there he is. Okay.
All right.
I am freezing.
Get a jacket.
I am like so cold. It's summer and I am cold.
In summer. Daniel, I think I had the highest hopes for Daniel in this round because country and blues have the biggest caveat for baritones and basses, and I was really excited to see what song he would choose. But when I did listen to him, I at first thought it was interesting that it was a cappella, but then I noticed that there's this weird lack of energy dynamic between the chorus and the verses, and I don't know how to feel about it. The harmonies are a little dissonant, and I honestly wish that he chose a song that capitalized on his voice more. The Trace Adkins parts were probably my favorite parts that he sung, because they were beautiful and deep notes and what I wanted, and the high energy parts are great, but the verses are so low energy, and a cappella is so hard that the timing also seems to be an issue.
Yeah, I think that kind of matches up with some of the stuff I've got. It had so much promise, but the execution just fell really short. I wouldn't have minded the fun and the energy of the video being in the performance a bit more. I was kind of trying to giddy it up compared to the original. The levels are really throwing me out on this. It was a real kind of catch-22 thing, because there's a lot of clever low-end backing vocals going on, but then because the lead line is so low in the mix, that gets lost, and then all we're really left with, instead of a bunch of clever work, is like a muddiness almost, where you want some mid-range and some top end to really start cutting through. And then add in those timing issues as well, coming in early on the chorus a couple of times in the same spot, just to add something else in the mix that's a problem. Had the potential to be incredible, but just fell way short on delivering the goods for me, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add there. I think you both kind of wrapped up pretty much what I was going to say, so that's pretty much it.
Wow, and we're still not fighting.
Yeah, I know where the fight's going to be. I know exactly who it's going to be, so...
We're building up to it.
I know exactly who it's going to be, because I remember the name being mentioned more than once, so yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Let's dodge a little bit then with my next one, and go for 12 Saloon. This is maybe where the mean streak's going to come in a little bit, but okay. I've kind of had 2 rounds worth of stuff building up on this, and I think it's a problem when someone who's still struggling with big technical issues get to this point. As when you start getting sort of top 10, top 12, you really start to get exposed. Wayward pitch and wayward timing pretty much throughout for me. The first 30 seconds that's softer in the low register, that works really well, but it's when it comes to pushing for the higher notes or sustained power, it just seems to go to pieces. I think it has something to do with just not being able to deliver those notes properly. Again, maybe a breath support thing, and then missing cues left and right as well, so timing issues in the mix. I just feel like there's not enough air being produced to get the notes that she wants, and even when she does, it kind of like she falls off the end of the phrase, like there's nothing left in the tank and it doesn't go anywhere. So I think it's one or two technical issues that some training would iron out lovely, and then she's got some great tone and some good range to work with as well. With the way that her voice is, to be able to deliver that soft low end stuff that she did in the first third of it in particular, that's a good sign. But I think just not ready to be at this stage, unfortunately.
You see, I have the same notes, but a different issue.
Okay.
I thought it was a very weak start and pitchier in the softer notes, and she kind of got more confident and more in control at the times where she put more power into it. I don't know if she worked with a mentor for this song, but I feel like Ginga would definitely be a good person to go to for 12 Saloon in particular, because Ginga could definitely teach her control in power, and Ginga's been working on how to reel it back too, so they could definitely help 12 Saloon in that instance. The phrasing, I agree with. It was very odd, where a word ended too late or started too early. I think what really got me was the key change at the finish. It felt very rushed and abrupt.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything, again, that I was really going to say. I mean, I like Toil's voice, I do, but like I said, there's something off in the beginning. The higher notes seem very pinched off, kind of nasally. Some keys just didn't quite get to where they needed to be. I don't know, but this round just wasn't as good for her as past rounds were. There were just too many issues for me.
Yeah.
And you both nailed exactly the issues that I was having. So it really isn't worth going, just doing the round again. So
yeah, this song just couldn't highlight her voice, I think.
Yeah. And I think that was the problem. I'm going to keep avoiding the one that I think might be the elephant in the room, and I'm going to go to Mocha next.
Okay.
I liked Mocha. I liked the energy and the dynamics in Mocha's voice. The cows in the music video were a very interesting choice. The song and the video. I mean, we're not judging the video, so I mean, I guess but I love the moo-moos. I absolutely love the cows. It just, I don't know, it just didn't seem to go with the video. But the vocals were really good for me. I really enjoyed the energy. I enjoyed the dynamics. I think Mocha's just got a very lovely voice, and this was for me, one of my. God bless you, Claire Bear. Goodness gracious, dog. Thank you for sneezing all over my arm. Oh, God, don't sneeze on my computer. Clara, go sit in your bed. Good Lord. I love you too, but thank you. Okay, sit. Why is it when I'm trying to do something, my dogs are all over me? Okay, but I think this one was one of my favorite performances of this round, so.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. Okay, now we start.
I didn't think this was going to be where the problem would come up, but okay, let's...
Okay. So here we go. All right.
This, for me, went the other way. It feels a little sterile to me.
What?
A little over-compressed, whether it be too much compression in the mix or just a microphone thing. For me, it felt like it lacked a lot of the punchy attack that Carrie Underwood's most known for, and the song choice was also a little disappointing too. Like with Before She Cheats or Two Black Cadillacs in the mix. I mean, for Mocha in particular, I think Blown Away would have worked out perfectly because those long sustained notes would have been right in her wheelhouse and she could have absolutely nailed those. So I'm not against Carrie Underwood. I'm maybe against the song choice for her and being able to show off all the best parts of her voice. And those growls, they sound really out of place to me, very forced. I'm sure that didn't do her throat any good, especially when she wasn't feeling that well to begin with. They didn't feel like they came from a place of natural technique. It just felt like, I need to growl in this because it's a Carrie Underwood song, so I'm going to try and make it work. And yeah, it missed the mark for me.
See, I completely disagree about that. And I'm kind of glad she didn't do that. Like, no offense, I know somebody actually did too Before He Cheats, but that song is so freaking overdone. Oh my God, I'm so sick of hearing that song.
Oh yeah, no doubt. It's
like the only freaking Carrie Underwood song that's ever freaking done, and I'm so over it. No offense. I know we're gonna talk about that soon, but yeah. Okay, you can go ahead now.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be able to have a turn. I just want to say that the cow videos were mine and Ginga's faults. During a stream, we suggested that please, everybody just have cows eating grass. Please.
It was a very odd choice, but I love animals, so I loved it. It was just an odd choice for that particular song.
I'm very proud of Mocha and Nathan for pulling through with that. But about Mocha's performance, I'm gonna have to say, I liked it. I'm sorry, Mark. I liked it.
Yes! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Screw you, Mark.
I wouldn't go that far. But I loved the diversity and the sass and the grit. I think that Mocha could be the next Carrie Underwood. The harmonies weren't done by her, so I was a little disappointed with that. I saw in chat that she said that her song had no harmonies, and I'm like, yes, it does, and also you could have made your own, so a little bit disappointed there. But
yeah, that was
yeah. But she has.
I did mark down for that.
Yeah, she has beautiful sustain. At 136 in particular, the switch from power to release was expertly done. That was probably my favorite part of the song.
136, huh?
Yeah, 136.
Mark's got to go and listen. He's just like, all right, fine.
Well, I'm going to find it because because this
if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, because this was the first one in, I've listened to it probably the most out of all the entries. But 136.
And this one isn't even the most contentious one yet. I'm telling you.
All right, that is quite good.
I told you. I'm right. I'm just saying. I'm right.
Yeah, okay, that takes some skill. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my issues with it sounding kind of sterile and over-compressed, might be a production thing. So rather than her voice thing. So I guess taking that into account, I can kind of figure out. Yeah, okay, fine. That's
okay.
And at last you see the light.
Maybe production thing shouldn't mean I drop as many points as I have on that one, but we'll. All right. Well, as we're on a Carrie Underwood phase, let's go to Angelina next then, and that massively overused song. I think the reason that it works or the reason why it's so overused, aside from men are usually cheating scumbags, is it's got the ability to really dig into it and get that power in. And I like this, but I feel like it disappoints all the same. A lot of the technical issues that there were in the group round were ironed out. For me, there was only one note that stood out as being particularly wayward, but it's lost some of that punch and power that really stood out to me in the group round, which this song so badly needs. And then a bit of a thing on the mix as well, which hasn't helped. Like the main vocal's been pushed so far down in the mix that it feels like. It's tough. Like if you're really trying to add all this power and energy into something that's supposed to be an angry song and then you're being hidden behind the backing, then that's not a good look. There's some great little bits going on in the backing which are quite clever, but again, those are being hidden by the fact they're sitting so low in the mix compared to the instrumental. Would have really loved for her to have ripped into the chorus, because I know when I'm singing along to this, I do exactly that. And it just wasn't there. I think there needs to be more variation in energies across the whole thing.
Okay, can I just say I would love to hear you ripping into this song. I would love to hear your. I would love to hear your rendition of this song. That's got to be the next, special episode. Is Mark singing Carrie Underwood?
I think Mark.
We got to have this. Oh yeah, we need this episode. Don't ruin this for me, Aria.
No, I'm just saying. I think Mark has a captive audience right now.
Exactly. I mean, would you sing a few bars?
No, I'm good right now.
Come on. Ah, damn it. Anyway.
I'm recovering from COVID, but I might record it as a cover.
Okay, all right. Well, you had COVID?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, that sucks.
How can you have a little bit of COVID?
Because I did have it and I don't anymore. But my voice still hasn't recovered yet.
Excuses. Anyway, Angelina, though, I'll give my 2 cents. We'll let Mark off the hook easy this time, since he has a little bit of COVID. I thought it was a real strong performance, personally. I think you did a great job making the song your own. I wish you would have made it angrier. This song is about a girl who literally got cheated on, and she is wrecking the car. I mean, you were wrecking a whole bunch of cars, like mini toy cars, and scratching up those pictures. I love your voice, but it just sounded too pretty. I needed to hear gritty, not pretty, but it still was a very nice rendition of the song. I still liked it.
Ooh, I get that. I like to call it model syndrome because of this one story where Jennifer Lawrence was with a whole bunch of other models, They told her to act like a real person playing football. All the other models were doing football like pretty, and then Jennifer Lawrence was like, I'm a man, I go to war, with her nostrils flared. And that's the kind of thing that I see all too often with singers, is that they'll have model syndrome and they'll sing pretty. I did it. But I really like Angelina's energy and emotion. She's really good at delivering power. I want to see how far she'll go with that, because it seems like it can only improve. My issue with the song was that the harmonies in particular didn't fit tone-wise, energy-wise. I felt they were just a little too young-sounding tonality-wise. No hate to Nick, but I was listening to it and I was like, man, this instrumental is loud.
Yeah, that instrumental is loud. So I don't think there's any songs you can really get away with that, or anything that really needs big, bold and punchy. Definitely not. You can't have a vocal hiding.
Definitely not.
Now, how many do we still... How do I... Let's do Dream Kitu. Obviously, there were two people with competing songs. I really think that Toi Saloum brought a little bit more energy and spunk to the song. But the pitch of this song, the just getting the technicality of this song was far more better by Dream Kitu. I don't think the energy was bad. I mean, I just think that the energy was a little more intense by Toi Saloum. The chorus was just kind of pulled back a little bit. Maybe Dream could have gone a little bit bigger in the chorus, maybe just kind of given us more of an intense moment, where they chose to give us more of a subtle moment. But I think it was pulled together far better. And I think this was a more enjoyable version of this song.
Yeah, Kitu has always been really great with the technicals. She has always kept such a clear and concise tone and been so ethereal with her music, and the harmonies are lovely halfway through. She has great dynamics and sustain, and the finish is amazing. I will say that it was a weird mix of classical pronunciation and country. I didn't like that when it happened in the beginning. Favorite part of the song is the line right before the first chorus, because it's so weak and raw and really builds to juxtapose how powerful the rest of the song is, and it was lost when she added those harmonies there. So I kind of wish that she didn't add the harmonies there and just waited. But I will say 152 was my favorite part.
I've got a few issues.
Of course,
the pronunciation of dreaming rather than dreaming just really threw me off right at the start. Timing a little rushed in a few places, because there is a little change in tempo which throws you off easily if you're not careful. Maybe took the easy route as well, going for like a pop country vibe, which is maybe a little more in her ethereal, sing-songy kind of wheelhouse than going full-on country. But there are things I like about it. The high harmony work is beautiful as always, but I was getting, especially in the early parts, a lot more low to mid-range, which answers a few questions that I've had about Kitu's versatility and ability to fit into different genres, which again I like. So some issues, some positives, but all in all, the version that I prefer of this song from the two that we had.
I honestly like Kitu's version better than Miley Cyrus.
Oh, interesting. Well, I guess that's not hard, because she sounds pretty flat in the original, so...
Yeah. Let's go ahead and bring up Ivy.
Okay.
I do think that this was a good song choice for Ivy. I'm impressed that she took on Ella Fitzgerald. She has a nice deep tone. It's perfect for her vibrato, and she has a strong start. I'm just disappointed that the finish was weak and she didn't play around with the attitude or dynamics, and it's another kind of model syndrome song. Especially at 225, the run wasn't executed with enough sass or emotion, in my opinion. And when she said, "You're out of my heart and I'm out of my mind," I wish that were done more openly with more power. It was a bit closed off.
Is this... Wait, I don't know if I can say that because of... because he's not technically voting, so... Was this Petrie's choice?
No, it wasn't Petrie's choice.
Oh, it wasn't Petrie's choice?
No.
Who was Petrie's choice?
What, for his top 10? Or his 10?
Yeah.
Maeve was his 10.
Oh, Maeve was his 10?
Yes.
Maeve was his 10, yeah.
I really misread that, sucker. Okay. I thought this was his 10. Okay.
No.
Oh, it's Mark's turn anyway, so go ahead.
Okay, cool. This was a really tough one for me to score. Initially, when I first listened to it, I'm thinking this is jazz. Hang on. But I didn't mention this right at the start. A few of the entries they didn't necessarily hit into blues or country. There was a bit of a mix-up between like pop country and what's jazz and what's rhythm and blues and that sort of thing. I think we've kind of decided that as far as scoring goes, no one's gone to the point where they haven't fitted into some kind of influenced by or whatever. So from my end, I haven't discounted anything in terms of scores. And then with this one going into Ella Fitzgerald and going into something that is more jazzy, it still posts a really big challenge. But I think it was very creative from the video to go into quite a lo-fi sound with the production. It's got its risks, and it did trip someone up last season, but this works for me as it retains a lot more of the dynamic. The low notes are so thick and melancholy, and the sweeping sustains on the low notes as well is really good and really pleasing. I really enjoyed this, and it grew on me a lot more as time went on. The more I listened to it, she adds a kind of maturity with her voice that is lacking from a lot of the other contestants. I think, Ari, I'm going to have to listen back to a few of those points that you mentioned, because you may have a point on that in terms of, was there more she could have done with it, opened it up a little more, and maybe taken it from being so one-paced. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed, and I think it adds something very different to a lot of the other singers we got.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it was good, and it was different from other entries that we got. I just wish there was more done with it.
Okay. All right, so I didn't like it. I love Ella Fitzgerald. I know a lot of Ella's work when I was in college. The reason why I didn't really have a problem with this being in like the country and blues, and because I actually took a blues appreciation course, and we actually went into jazz, and then we went into R&B, because they're basically offshoots of like jazz and then blues, and then R&B are all kind of inspired by the same music subcategory. We had a whole entire course on Ella Fitzgerald, and so I knew this song, and I really liked what she did with that old sound and trying to, like, the production to make it have that old-fashioned feeling to it. But have you ever played a record, like an actual old-time record?
Yes.
On a record player?
I've got some right at my feet, yeah.
Yeah, and have you ever had a record that was a little warped, and like it kind of like wobbled when it played, and it kind of played a little slow, and it kind of wobbled up and down a little bit, and it had kind of like, that's what it felt like to me.
Okay.
Because Ella has, it's not an easy piece, because Ella moves into these transitions so smoothly, but she does it, they're very difficult transitions, and they are so precise, and she does them with such expertise in a way that very few can do. Ella Fitzgerald was a legend, and I just don't think that she was getting them. She sounded to me like almost like a wobbly record player.
I understand.
And I love her voice, but I just didn't feel like this was it.
That's
all I
completely valid. Yeah. It's why I made my note about the run at 225. That was Ella Fitzgerald's like token, her signature, and Ivy couldn't capitalize on that.
Yeah, it just wasn't for me. Just wasn't for me. And I thought it was going to be contentious, because I was pretty sure. I swear I thought that Petri said this was his 10, and I could have sworn that you were going to say this was your 10 too. And I'm like, oh shite, because this was fine. This was one of my no's.
I can't agree with you. I cannot agree with you that I dislike it, but I see where you're coming from.
I didn't say, like, I don't necessarily say I dislike it.
Okay.
I mean, I just don't like it.
Okay.
It's different than disliking. It's just not liking.
It's not something that you would play on repeat, but it is something that you would give another listen.
No. It's more of It's more of, I like her voice. I've always appreciated her voice. I just don't think that this was the entry.
I think full disclosure that might cause us a problem during the next stage is I think I'm struggling to differentiate between the voice and then the performance a little bit. It's like I really like the voice part, and then it's whether the performance actually stands up to be able to make that argument. But yeah, we'll come back to that. That's the next part.
Maybe you should become a mentor so you can surf through both.
He mentored one season, so I mean, he tried that.
No one really used me except for Ginga asked me to mix for her until the final, and then one of the feedbacks on it was that the mixing was off.
Wait, no, I used you in All Stars, and then they called my song campy. That's what happened.
Campy? Which one was that?
Oh, that was the Lady Gaga one, Poker Face, but you wanted it done in the Glee version.
Oh, yes! Yes! It was campy as hell. It was. I remember that one.
Okay, so what we're saying then is judge's choice, big win. Glee version, big fail.
Okay, all right, anyway. Okay, where are we? Oh my God. Oh, my eyes are watering so bad now.
Wait, are we back at Mark or are we at Andrea? I don't know anymore.
I don't know where we are. Let Mark can go.
We're in between Emma and Erin. We have the two E's left.
Okay, let's go for Erin then. Tripping over the timing a little and then rushing to try and catch it back up. Seems to be a theme running through. It was short on anything that really excited me, like a little more backing vocal in there to thicken it up would have been nice. Wasn't really any variation in volume or pitch either. The sweeping runs from the original, I get that that's not in Erin's range as such, which is maybe why she skipped that. But I would say if you want to go for, if Faith Hill's sweeping runs aren't your kind of thing, maybe pick a different song and a different artist would have been the call on this one.
Yeah. I think it was pleasant. I like your voice, Erin. There's still something green in comparison to, say, like Mocha or even Dream Kitu. I can hear a lot of unsureness in the notes. It was pretty, but there's just something missing. Maybe it's a theme. Maybe you're just not comfortable in country blues. I don't know. It wasn't even middle. I think it was just below middle for me. You know, pretty is not necessarily going to be winning. You have to have more than pretty. You have to have confidence. You have to have grit. You have to have passion, power. And I didn't hear all of that in the song. All I heard was pretty. So it just didn't work for me this time.
I've been a long-time standing fan of Erin, but I feel like this was the bare minimum. It was a safe choice, and it sounded like she wasn't even sure of the song, like she hadn't listened to it enough to know all the nuances of the song. It was again that weird mix of classical and country tone. The same thing I heard in Kito's entry, I heard in Erin's entry, with just that tone. But this song was very low energy, like even with the instrumental and everything, it was just very low. No dynamics, just pretty, no power or grit. Again, love the voice, but there was no performance. We just have Emma.
I think Emma? Okay, this one's easy enough. I said Emma, very lovely voice. I think Emma's got a very lovely voice. I think there were some nice dynamics in the song. There were a few moments to me, maybe you guys heard something a little different, but I felt like there were some timing issues where some of the timing seemed a little iffy, especially on the runs. But all in all, I think it was a nice performance.
I think this performance is better than the original. It knocked the original out of the park. I was listening to Emma's version and then I listened to the original and I was like, this is not the same song, in favor of Emma's version. I honestly think she's the harmony queen this season, and she's so full of emotion. I did wish for the last note to be extended more, and I like the effect on those really high notes that she did at the end, but I still think they were very shrill and birdy. That was the only note I have on them, but she changes the song and it works, and it's like the perfect example of owning a song. And I just think it's amazing how she can start it off strong, but it can get more powerful.
Emma unnerves me a little bit because I think she's about the only British singer I know that doesn't sound American when she sings. I'm not going to mark her down for it, but I've just never really seen that too often. But I absolutely love this. Powerful, playing around with the multi-part harmonies, which the song choice allows so much. I would maybe have loved a little more softness in the main vocal, especially as it's demonstrated in those backing vocals, but maybe a little more movement in the backing vocals as well, like a volume variation, a little left-right panning, that sort of thing, because it's very thick. And maybe something just to take a little bit of the edge off and make it a little more dynamic would be incredible. But I think she's taken the original, and rather than adding softness to it, she's added some power to it in areas that weren't there before. And yeah, that has definitely added something. I am in the same boat. I think, I would rather listen to that than the original. Huge fan.
Wow, this was actually a lot less painful than I expected.
I
was really getting kind of scared there when we had the pre-chat in on Discord. I was getting a little worried. But okay then, okay.
I seriously thought I would have to strap on my boxing gloves.
Hey, Petri hasn't seen the voting yet, so just wait. It might happen after the fact again.
We'll have to have another star speech.
Well, I think we're out of stars. Are we? Because I know Mark used his, I used mine. Does Petri still have one?
He does.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Petri still has one, so we might be safe from the wrath of Petri. So.
That's true. As long as we don't pull any stunts with Maeve, I think we're fine.
Oh, Maeve is... Well, you'll see my vote, unfortunately.
Oh, you can't save someone twice, can you?
Oh.
You can only be saved once. So, it's final countdown for her.
Thanks for watching. Don't miss the upcoming result. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.